Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Surprise Lethal podcast. We've got 3 new members of the podcast team today, so I'll introduce them one at a time. First of all, Gemma.
Hi, I play a lot of Summer Pockets.
James.
Hi, lots of GGO, various other things in the past, but we don't need to go over those, it's fine. They don't exist anymore.
And Ed.
Hi, I like Shioko.
Also rejoining me are Kabaine and Euan.
Hi, my name is Kabaine, and now I'm not going to do that.
It's actually been a really long time since I've been on the podcast. It's been like a good, 3 months? 4 months?
Been a while, to be fair.
I think it was Luke or Sam complained about me being on it all the time, so I just stopped being on it. And
then look what's happened. Sam's on
today.
So, 2 noteworthy things about this podcast that I want to point out. First of all, this is like the first one for as long as I can remember that Sam's not on. And second of all, spoiler alert, we have every single UK player that's currently qualified for Rome in this call.
Yeah,
So that's good.
And Kabaine.
So going straight into it, we're going to reflect on the weekend where everyone got their invites. Starting with the Saturday, the top 16 event, as we like to call it. That was won by Gemma, and James came second place. So how do you reckon your guys' days went as a whole? You feel pretty confident, or?
Yeah, I mean, I was nervous as hell going into it to begin with. I mean, I got to the actual venue technically before they opened. So that was fun. Some of the games went a bit tense. I mean, you guys were all pretty much watching in the semi-final match, me against Lee. That was a hell of a match to go through. Just down to the wire, but yeah, I mean, I felt the tournament overall was pretty strong. Like, good way to see how things were kind of totaling up, at least over in our scene overall, in comparison to like generally for locals and stuff. And it was nice to see the progression considering how long I've been playing. So from at least my point of view, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, same here really. Actually, I think it was quite funny that I spent quite a lot of time practicing and preparing for the Goblin Slayer matchup, and then on the day it never turned up. But it went relatively smoothly. I think I got very lucky, in particular in my match against Ben. I'm sure he'll remember as well. But I think I won because he failed to hit on a brainstorm or something really tight like that. So it was quite a lot of luck, and also I think it was just a really good day, and the rest of the games went relatively smoothly, other than obviously the first one, which I lost. So
you take the submarine route.
Indeed.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm pretty sure it was us.
Yeah, it's okay though, because the run back at the end was fine.
Yeah, start your run back with a near mirror finish. Which
yeah, pretty much.
Like the fact that the icy tail went the same way, and then it was just like, oh no, is this happening again?
Yeah, it was pretty much the same.
I like that you touched on Goblin Slayer as well, because we mentioned it like a little bit before when we were like making predictions for what decks people were going to pick and stuff like that. And I think it kind of came true that everyone who had been playing Goblin Slayer previously was too worried about everyone else over preparing for Goblin Slayer. So Sam, for example, ended up changing to ReZero, and Matt changed to Little Busters.
There was no Goblin Slayer in the top 16, and there was one Goblin Slayer in the LCQ. So
Which
quite funny.
Again still wasn't Matt or Sam.
It was Carl, wasn't it?
Yep. Yes, it was.
So that was a lot of very wasted practice, I imagine, for a lot of people.
Oh yeah.
It was okay. I played Sam anyway, and ReZero is a far friendlier matchup for me than Goblin Slayer. So, but we won't talk any more about that game because I think it was very unfair to Sam.
It's really bad. I've gotten so used to Sam being on the podcast, I'm just expecting him to interject. Yeah, of the 16 players that qualified for that tournament, 14 of them appeared, and if I recall correctly, there were actually 14 different series used as well.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Yes, there were.
shows how many viable decks there are.
Well,
you say that there were some players that weren't taking it too seriously, but
Yeah.
overall,
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't count Poyo as being represented.
see, I do, but that's just
No, not like this.
I'm thinking more along the best shot lines.
I was also incredibly upset that there was no Sal played across like either day, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty ridiculous.
Do I technically count?
No, it's new standard, buddy. That's the format.
Wait, has Poyo replaced Sao in the UK meta now? I hope it has.
I don't think anyone needs to see that. Thank you.
I'd be okay with it.
The society that we live in.
Certain people need to see the light.
To be fair, 2-soul Poyo would deal with Priestess, just throw soul at it and see what happens.
Well,
it deals with it in a whole other way.
Yeah, it's got the mill 3 killer guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a lot of the reason that we picked up in the first place.
Yeah. It actually pulled quite a lot. Well, it would have pulled quite a lot of weight against Symphogear had it not. I think Peter said he missed like 2 mill 3s versus Lee's board, so he felt a bit stranded.
I got a little snippet of that game as well. I think I saw one whiff, and then when one did hit, Lee just paid 3 to encore one of them. It's like, yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, because I think the difference with the Symphogear matchup to the Goblin Slayer matchup is Lee has to do the Subasa on a resonance with the Wano Shirabe.
Yes.
So he can just encore it because the value is still there, because it still gets the neg soul, still gets the power. So there's, other than the stock, he's still got the board presence, which I feel is most of the way that deck works. As a
I think most people target the memory kick back row, which is the best thing to pay 3 encore probably. So,
yeah, he did that against me, which was kind of weird, surprising as well, because he did it on an encore, which I didn't expect to happen from me using the Pashito and basically killing it. It was like, no, I'm keeping that, man.
It's a good segue into Kabaine's day, where he decided to use JoJo because he couldn't use it the following day.
Yeah, okay, so a lot of it did turn out that I came to the conclusion that apparently being able to board wipe a whole entire board is really annoying for a lot of players.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, because, like, for example, after our game with Lee, I killed his Brainstorm the turn before because we went into overtime and we went past the 3 turns. Turns out, because of the fact he wasn't able to top check or be able to use anything else on his resources, he actually wasn't able to just go in for a he wasn't able to get information on which way to attack, which is really interesting. It did end up with me losing because I took the 1 damage, but if it actually turned out that it was a trigger, then he would have actually I would have cancelled on both attacks, which is weird.
He has to just like blindly swing, and I think he said he had like a 60% to hit a non-trigger, so it was like it's quite a thin margin to tread.
Pretty much.
There were a lot of close games that day from what I saw, and I guess that's the nature of having such a, prestigious tournament.
Yeah, definitely.
In theory.
That, and to be fair, when you consider that how close knit our community is, at least for the most part, like everyone there knows how we all play, so we all had a vague idea of what to kind of expect, bar a couple players, which makes the tournament so much more interesting from that perspective, because other than maybe the odd thing like JT pulling out best shot, that
I
there
predicted
weren't.
that actually.
I mean,
I'll have you
I
know.
kind of hoped you would, because I love that deck. But yeah, it's kind of that whole thing of it makes the game so much better because they're people who we get practice against on a regular basis, and it's just yeah.
It's nice getting to build up little rivalries with each other.
Yeah.
That's like me and JT have the dumbest rivalry right now. Like it's just friendly banter, but every single game that we've played recently has just ended up with something ridiculous happening. For example, him having to play down 2 brainstorms and an assist just to be able to try and be over, like just to be able to attack during our game in top 16, which was quite funny.
Don't let anyone tell you the best shot is good.
Hey man, I love that deck. Just throw climaxes into memory. You know, what's the worst that could happen, right?
What's the worst that could happen?
I mean, it's compression. You know, compression's good.
I think it's the wrong kind of compression that you're looking at, man.
It's just like Angel Beats back in the day.
So, have you guys got any other memorable games you played, or shall we move on?
In top 16,
Catherine.
Go on.
That was a hell of a game. I mean, I think you actually caught the end of that game, and I do apologize for the high-pitched noises I made. So,
I was right next to you on this one. Yeah, I know exactly what's happening.
So,
yeah,
my first 2 turns, I either played a climax or discarded and passed. I hit level 3 by the time I got her to level 1, and then for some reason I just managed to stick damage upon damage. And yeah, I think that was probably the weirdest game I've had in a while, and that I shouldn't have won that. I really shouldn't have.
The crazy 2.5 level deficit comeback.
I mean, it's fair. I can use on that one because I'm pretty sure that's the one where I had to play 2 back row Fukas, then the double early play just to dig out a 3-2 to get a heal. It was like, and it was the pay 1 to get the early play. Like those kind of games are stupid. But yeah, that was a weird one in itself.
I think from my end, the only one was against poor Sam, just before top 2, where I don't think anything went his way at all. I think he got like 1 Amelia off, and then eventually sort of he's apparently still tilted, and says that he won't be untilted until sort of Christmas. So it was one-sided.
Watching that from Sam's perspective, I watched him like play one of the top 3s, and then grab a second top 3 instead of the like linkless restand, or like the Mill 5 Burn X or whatever it is, the promo one.
Yeah.
And that was like I think because he didn't have pants, it was just a strict miss. And he only realized after he selected the card, so that was quite rough, I think.
Alright.
Like outside of the rest of the game being a clown fiesta.
Yeah, it was a bit of a mess. But I think sometimes that's just the way your luck goes. As I say, I had quite a few lucky moments that day.
something exo curse.
Yeah.
So yeah, to quickly summarize that tournament, Gemma and James were the finalists, so they qualified for Rome. They beat Sam and Lee in top 4 respectively. One interesting thing with the number of players is there was strong potential for there to be 5 players on X1 or higher, which would have been a very unfortunate bubble. But someone on the last round managed to win a pair up to prevent that, so that's nice. It makes it nice. The standing's nice and pleasant to look at as well.
Yeah, I think I'm quite grateful for that, because I think I know you can't do the proper maths, but I think we'd worked out that I was pretty much at high risk of being that particular bubble. So that was quite a fortunate thing that happened that day as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I think as a case, I think the actual thing behind it was because I was your only loss, but Sam was mine and Matt's. So because Richard did the bubbling on Matt caused it, I think. Because if Matt had won that game, the people who would have lost to Sam would have got through.
It's the nature of being the submarine as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shall we move straight on to the next day?
Yeah, sure.
So, as I spoiled earlier, everyone who qualified is in this call. So, Ed made what I would argue probably the most surprising tournament run of the year.
Just right out of left field there. Like this is my first year playing Weiss, and my best finish to date has been, I think, 9th. I've not done a top 8 or anything, and I genuinely don't know what happened.
Have you played the deck Fantasia Bunker in a Weiss League before?
Nope, I hadn't actually played that particular build before.
Yeah, because I think a lot of the lists that you had before were like significantly weaker, so I think they were holding you back quite a lot.
I like to play decks I like rather than the meta.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right. So I
but-
built this 8 standby list sort of the week before, and kind of tried it at locals, but it wasn't great. And I was literally changing it up the night before this tournament.
So it's pretty much who's ready to see Ed become top of UK next year.
Yeah, man.
With 8 standby Fantasia Bunker.
Nah, man. He's just gonna go and win Rome. That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Like man's gonna go to Worlds. We believe.
Yeah,
I'm glad somebody does.
I think it makes me very proud on a personal level, seeing the success of you, Peter, and Kabaine this year, having only started playing Weiss this year.
Yeah.
It's just good for our local Milton Keynes boys.
Yeah, man. I'll take
Do
that.
I still count as a local Milton Keynes boy or not?
Just about.
Just about.
Oh, man.
Turning into a Brommy boy.
One of us. One of us.
Oh, no.
So everyone else that played in the tournament here, obviously I was TOing it. Euan was helping me out, seeing as we were nice and qualified and comfy.
Yes.
Gemma and James were able to play in the tournament, but they weren't able to top cut. So I think you guys decided to just chill out a bit.
We had a bit of fun. I think that's one way to put it, Gemma, right?
Yeah.
We even played each other.
Yeah, we did.
I was going to say, I ended up playing against you again, didn't I, James?
At some point, I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Oh, man.
I was on a janky as hell Fantasia build, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were running 8-shot Nanaha.
Yes, it's Lee's deck, and I'd never played it until the day of the tournament, but I thought, why not? Also, unfortunately, Richard hadn't been able to pick up the deck he was going to play, so he needed to borrow one last minute, and he ended up picking up my Summer Pockets deck.
I
Did man
feel
hit
so
top cut
bad
with
for
it
him.
as well?
Yeah.
It's top forward that deck.
I feel
Yeah.
so bad for him. Like, oh man, it was like such a low roll, but then it was such a high roll the day after. Like, Jesus. So as for the day, it started off with obviously me playing Ayalisa, aka Pastel Palette, into Roselia combo, and it all started off with me going, okay, we'll see if this how this goes, because I'm a massive advocate of the deck. I just if it's my favorite deck, etc., etc. Just gonna play it for last tournament, and it ended up with the full combo going off in 4 games out of 5. The only person who didn't get to experience it was JT, because he killed me.
In the janky Bang Dream deck off.
Oh, he was playing Hello Happy World actually, and I was 1 turn away from doing the full combo. I was so ready. I was like, "Oh, let's go!" And then out of nowhere, it died. I was like, "Let's not go."
So let's give a bit more context to the tournament. 28 players appeared. It's a bit lower than I was hoping, but there were some awkward clashes with MCM and that. But it's still pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was harder to convince northern people to come down than last year when it was in Birmingham, and also last year we had a bunch of like first time locals show up for it because we made it seem like a BCS, I think, to attract more people.
Yeah.
And it's harder to advertise in a like to a wider audience when the entire like local audience is already like guaranteed coming to the event because they're all like part of like an in group. Even then we missed some locals, I think, because of like a Magic pre-release or something.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's always a bit weird where the priorities lie for WGP, I think.
Yeah.
Like either way though, it was a good turnout, especially for the MCM weekend.
Yeah, what pleased me is I heard that not many of the London players are going to turn up, and then basically every single one NU turned up. So,
like 4 of my 5 rounds were just guys from Sneak Attack.
yeah.
That's how you won the tournament, because you had the freest run of components.
Oh my god, the BM! Oh my god!
Wow.
That is such BM.
To be fair, didn't one of the Sneak Attack lot actually go XO on the day?
Maria went EXO. This is an interesting story I wanted to bring up because Maria used English card captors, which is of course legal in WGP in the West. But it wasn't even a conventional English card captor build.
Wasn't it mono yellow?
It was mono yellow. It was like kind of a budget deck from what I could tell. It used I mean, I can't even remember the effects very well, but it used like the level ones that pair each other.
Into the Shaoran. I don't remember what they do. I don't know what they are.
I know the level 3 is like the Chain Chronicle trial deck finisher.
Yeah.
The on attack reveal, level 1 or level 1 or lower burn 1, otherwise burn 2 thing, or pay 1.
For a bit of context, Maria is well known for running Shinchan and Junez, so it was quite it was unprecedented for her to bring like a recently released series, let alone go EXO with it.
Wow, okay, that is interesting to know.
Yeah, good job on Maria for managing to go EXO. She unfortunately lost in top 8 though.
Swiss curse.
Never fails, man.
She lost in top 8 to Lauren, if I recall correctly. So Lauren
Yes.
managed to capitalize in last year's top 8 by making top 8 again and making it all the way to the finals this time.
Darling in the Franks.
It was quite upsetting seeing 2 female players shoot each other in top 8.
Just like last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where did you rate Darling in the Franks on your tier list again, Euan?
It's not a good deck.
I mean, she's not even playing what you would even see as the conventional Franks build. I think Lauren is quite an expert at creating some really unusual builds and doing really well with them, because I think it's pants with the stock soul, and then there's a single copy of a wind in there as well, which does way more work than it should.
Normally when you picture Darling in the Franks, you picture like the Strelitzia level 3. But this is pretty much just
me at level 1 as well.
Yeah, this is pretty much like blue-green.
Yeah.
Is that the what, the memory kick back row and the restander finish?
I don't think the memory kick back row is in this deck.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's she runs the sort of under one roof clone in green. There's a 1 restand that's yellow, and then there's the early play merges that she runs with the pants combo where they lose a level. So they're level 2's on board.
Yeah, I might be wrong about this because I haven't looked at the cards for a while, but I think the restander like grabs its own climax, which is why it's like sort of justifiable to run it. The climax is a 1-off.
Yeah, it does.
And yeah, the level 3 combo, the fact that it's just like, here's a body, I lose a level, so I'm less prone to anti-change, and I draw cards. So it's like, extra card advantage kind of thing.
I don't think the list has changed much from last year. I know last year was running the Pounce combo as well. I'm not sure if the level 1's changed. Because it might have, because the meta scene has changed quite a lot in the last year with like a huge explosion in standby. But
Hashtag broken trigger, right?
yeah.
Shut up. 8 standby is not enough standby.
Never enough, man. Never enough.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Laura, making these early plays is just not enough to beat Ed's giant 14-5-2-2s.
Can't anti-change everything.
Yeah.
I mean, those Tomers are just henchly, because it's what, 2-5 for each back row you have?
Yeah, so they sit at, what, 11-5. But if your back rows are the 3-2 H's, that's another 3k.
Yeah.
And another 3k if you have the right standby out.
That's massive.
Yeah.
I can't wait for them to print a second standby for Sal, so we can run 8 standby Sal.
Won't happen, man. Either that or it'll be like an analyzation one, so it'll be like off trait.
An off trait standby trigger, hello? You okay, buddy?
No, off trait for the combo, man. Off trait for the combo.
That's true. You can completely ignore the combo. I think that's what Standby is basically doing in SA at the moment anyway.
Like, they're just gonna print up like a special card, and in the bottom right, like in the bottom right, it's just gonna say
it's Standby, but it gives soul on play. But you cannot play it or use its triggered effect if you don't have floodlight characters.
Oh no!
You know what? Don't. I would not put Bushiroad past doing something that janky. I really wouldn't.
To be fair though, with the new Sal expansion coming out, it's gonna be
expansion.
Expansion.
Magic. Hello.
No, I've been watching Hearthstone videos today, man.
The new re-edit set is like mostly reprints, but I mean the last re-edit set had a ton of cards that still see a bunch of play released new for it.
I was under the impression it was some reprints rather than
same.
I think they said I don't think they've published like actual ratios, but I think they said something like 60 or 70% of it will be reprints. So it'll be very similar to the last re-edit set where it's like an extra 20 cards.
Sure.
I think they have confirmed that it's going to have some standard sound, some alicization though, isn't it?
Yeah, probably. But it is a 10th anniversary set, so I'd assume presume that it focuses on the older stuff a little bit more.
Yeah.
Does a bit more legacy support.
So basically,
give me more GGO, please. Come on, it's Sal, right? It's Sal, right?
So basically, if you play Sword Art Online, this set's perfect for you.
To stop us getting a bit off topic here.
Standby's a good trigger.
Standby is as proven. So we touched on it a little bit earlier, but Richard placed in top 4 as well, borrowing Gemma's Summer Pockets, which meant that because it was the exact same 50 cards, right?
Yeah, well, it was the only cards I had translations for, so you had to take the lot. So the list is exactly the same.
That's pretty good turnout for those 50 cards.
They did some work. As I say, it was actually built. Originally, I was planning to play the standby list, which I think a lot of people in Europe play at the moment. But it doesn't really do very well against sort of beefy decks like your Goblin Slayers. So I'd swapped to the gate build. And there's a few sort of cards in there to try and deal with large boards. And then it turned out that it actually did quite well at other things as well.
Yeah, I was quite sad that you didn't have the spares, I think, because we'd seen from the day before that Goblin Slayer wasn't too much of a threat. So standby could have done a lot of work, except against 8 standby Fantasia, I guess.
I mean, that was my top 4 match with Richard.
Yeah.
And he had an abysmal game. I don't think he got the level 1 combo off at all. I kind of feel bad for him a little bit.
We have that on
back,
video, so that should eventually go up on YouTube at some point.
As we are recording this podcast, I am uploading the videos unlisted to our YouTube so we can edit them down and get them out as soon as possible. We're really close. Just give me a couple days and we'll get there.
Plug.
I was about to say.
Does it count as a plug if it's within your own content anyway?
Yeah, sorry, I'd continue.
I've completely lost where I was now.
Your game against Richard.
Yeah, you start to describe that game.
I think I was terrified of Summer Pockets coming into this weekend. I'd like to pretend I made the meta call and thought no Goblin Slayer, but really I was just panicking about Summer Pockets. And I've yet to play it where it actually goes right. Every game I've ever played against Summer Pockets has just gone really badly for the Pockets player.
See, that's because your matchup is like semi-favored. When you're playing an unfavored matchup like a Sal, they always get 2 of their combo off, and then you both have a really slow game, so you have to deal with it for like 7 turns.
No. Just play a game against Gemma and see how it goes and get back to us.
I mean, my games against Gemma, I'm really ahead, and then I get Luxact and lose. And I think that's happened like 3 times in a row in my matchups out against Summer Pockets.
Oh dear, I'm getting a reputation. I think Sam in particular got upset with me when I managed to refresh with 6 and then triple cancel, and then I think I hit off a brainstorm as well, and at that point I think we'd lost him. That was some pretty good luck.
Feels bad, man.
Like, could you see it in his eyes? Like the exact moment.
I think at that point I just looked at him and I was like, okay, this is the point where we stop making conversation and we just finish this game. I think it's best for both of us at this point.
I think that definitely continued through to the next day. As looking back at it now, just like the fact that he went 0-2 and dropped with the exact same deck. I think he wasn't exaggerating when he said he was going to be tilted until Christmas.
I have a calendar reminder, literally, to message him to make sure he's untilted at Christmas. So I'll let you know.
Like, I can't wait for ISE Weiss and seeing him just like get incredibly, self-righteous and in his announcing banning Summer Pockets. It's going to be like, I'm banning Summer Pockets because of course I am.
He's only going to play Terraformers anyway.
Yeah, I feel so bad for him.
I'm going to ban his Terraformers.
Oh no.
I'm really sad you can't play 3 of the same set because I do actually have access to the gold bar, the standby, and the gate build of Summer Pockets.
Oh,
so
really?
I just wanted to play all 3.
Can you just imagine someone like turning around and be like, I'm going to ban Summer Pockets, which one?
I like how confusing this is for anyone that has no clue what's happening at Chimera on Saturday.
Should we explain?
Insert context.
What's going on
Actually, no. Should we not put any context in it to see who could figure it out?
I mean,
just listen to the next episode, buddy.
Exactly, right? Like, this is like preparation for like the viewer to, go for the next thing.
I guess all I'll say is wink, wink. Check out Chimera on Facebook to see a spicy tournament on Saturday. Wink, wink.
This podcast is probably going out after the tournament's happened.
Shush.
Oh, wow.
That's like a personal call out, Brandon. That's hard.
I've been consistently uploading the last 1 episodes on time.
Just not to YouTube straight away.
Actually,
like
the last one was uploaded to YouTube straight away.
Mm.
That's because I managed to pick up Sony Vegas, and now editing is not a pain.
Nice, good job. I was gonna say, are we gonna start making addiction Saturday decks? Or
let's continue talking about WGP for a bit.
understandable.
Quickly go back to Ed's top 4 game. I was seeing from Richard's side from some of it because I was obviously watching over that game. And there was some stuff like he was digging hard for his combo. He was like trying to hit. He did stuff like hit a brainstorm when he needed to also hit one of the two ones as well or something. Or I can't remember. I think no, actually it was
he milled like 2 copies of the 2-1 and missed the brainstorm.
I think he went like played down 2 draw drops or something, and then brainstormed, and then he milled like a couple of 2-1s off of the next 2 cards when he desperately needed them. It's along those lines, and like ripping out climaxes when he didn't want to. But in all fairness, like you were also like winning away way too many climaxes with your brainstorms, like through fresh decks and stuff like that.
I swear, like 3 times in that game, I hit 3 on a brainstorm. I don't want to hit 3.
Hey man, three cards are good. It's better than hitting 3 climaxes on your Amagi.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the more ridiculous games. The other player to make top 4 was Ben using Bang June. And I mean, I don't think there's too much to really talk about his list because it's kind of vanilla. It's just the typical
like
Fever deck. Fever into Yukina.
It's the kind of list that everyone's seen 100 times. I don't think there was any particularly interesting spice in there. He was me and him were having a really in-depth conversation in like the week running up to the tournament whether he was going to be running the Rico coin flip or the Chisato beta, because they kind of do the same thing but in slightly different ways. The coin flips better against things like Summer Pockets, and the Chisato better against Goblin Slayer because it can tie with the Approacher. But I think he ended up going with the
beats the Approacher.
I thought it was 3-5, not 4K.
I mean, Chisato is 3-5. The Approacher is 3K.
I thought the oh yeah, goddamn it, Sam. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
he went for the coin flip in the end.
Yes, he did because he predicted no Goblin Slayer and was correct in that.
Well, he actually told me a complete different reason.
Oh.
He said he decided to use those because when he asked if he could borrow them, he found out he could borrow SRs.
That was another reason, and I remember being very upset with him about it. It was the right call anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's definitely the correct call. Yeah, we wouldn't talk that much about other players that made top 8. We obviously spoke about Maria. Jason from London made top 8 as well, Miku, so it's good to see Miku rep for me. Luke managed to make top 8 with Bunny Girl Senpai. After acquiring the cards on the morning and saving them after deck checker closed.
I saw that for so long. Like, I saw that in your bedroom for like way too long.
Yeah. And also, Matt made top 8 with Hino Logic, showing that it's still got it after the ban list. So yeah, I don't think there's enough other people to talk about games during a tournament. Check out our YouTube for some of the recorded games.
Nice plug.
Well, some people might only listen to us on Spotify or whatever.
I would if I have Spotify, my bad.
Well, in any case, I think that's pretty much everything for the WGP qualifying weekend. And I'll throw a quick shout out to Euan for helping me out with tech stuff. Glenn for coming all the way down just to judge. It was all good. I appreciate it. XOXO.
Glenn's a good spoons buddy. Would recommend.
So, moving on, the next part of this podcast is going to be about BCS in France, which was this past weekend.
Yes.
Me and Kabaine almost went. We ended up not going, but Euan still went. How'd it go?
Mad lad.
It was alright. being failed on like less than a week before the tournament was a bit sucky, but
love you too, Uru.
Yeah, traveling down wasn't too bad. It was quite nice to just have some alone time after spending the week at my parents, so it wasn't too bad. And then the event itself, I placed second, so got an invite to Worlds. This is the first time I've been invited, and I think I am gonna travel, hopefully with a sponsored invite if I can win it in London or Rome, but if not, I'll travel regardless, I think.
So whether or not the results go your way in the remaining paid.
Yeah. If I can't get a sponsored invite, I'm gonna just pay for the trip instead.
Makes sense. I mean, worlds is worlds, right?
Yeah. So I think the most interesting part of the tournament. So I took Barbuxau, which will be a surprise to nobody. But in the I did some like last minute, well, not last minute, like a few days before. I did like some like multi-hour long practice sessions with Brandon. And referred to the ENTCG app, not sponsored, but would appreciate it. So I've always seen Xenon as like a reach tool, and a way to like either catch up in or like consistently kill people from like around the high 2, low 3 mark. But when you look at statistics, which as we know are the only god, Xenon's at its strongest when you're trying to kill someone from like 3 and up. So I ended up upping money counter to 3 and going for 2-turn kills a lot more often, which is the idea of Dutch players running money counter in the first place anyway, and that's where we stole it from. But upping it to 3 is a bit unprecedented, I think, because most players will still want to go for double Xenon. But I think I played Xenon combo like twice all day. It just wasn't necessary a lot of the time. Because just vanilla swinging over 2 turns, it was almost like running Bargate or similar, running it like in a Japanese style. Money counter definitely won me more games than Xenon did. But yeah,
it feels nice to get that vindication for upping money to 3.
It does. It was upsetting that we all, in part of the same practice session, we upped Cat to 2, and it was only good in my finals game, and I clocked it in my finals game right when I needed it. Yeah. The event itself wasn't super like exciting. A lot of the builds that I played against felt unfinished or like imperfect. Like of the 3 Bang Dream builds, no, the 4 Bang Dream builds that I played, only the one in the finals seemed like complete to me. The Summer Pockets into restand player I played in round 3 messed up his restand combo, so I managed to cheese a win there. There was a Mono Roselia guy who, after the game, after I lost my pair down, he very nicely told me, "Oh yeah, I wasn't meant to be playing this deck, but I lost my other one, so I just had to play this instead."
Nice.
That was a good feeling. But I've been watching a lot of League videos, and I've been learning how to maintain a strong mental. So I didn't feel like remotely tilted after losing the last 2 rounds of Swiss. I was like completely zen. I felt very big brain.
It's good to have a good state of mind in such a high stakes tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I think it really helped that it was on the smaller side. It was 51 players, I think. 6 rounds, top 8. So I just approached it like a locals. And that helped a lot, I think.
It helps winning the first 4 rounds and losing the last 2 rather than the other way around.
Yeah, it definitely took a lot of pressure off. I had kind of the dream first couple of rounds where I played against like a new player who brought like 2 GGO TDs into ENTCG, the man, the myth, the legend. He was player number 13, and I played against him on table number 13. So I sat down and I was like, "Oh my god, this is so cursed. This could go so wrong so easily."
What are you talking about? 13's a lucky number. I was player 13 last year.
I mean, the luck does not matter at all to Euan. Lucky for him, I guess.
Yeah.
Stole that luck or bad luck away from someone else.
I'm very anti-luck. I don't believe in luck. I believe in RNG, but I don't believe in luck. Even though I do have really weird like superstitions and like rituals that I like to go through. I wouldn't say that I believe in like luck or karma or anything like that.
I guess stuff like superstitions and rituals isn't really a luck thing anyway. It's more like getting your mind in the correct state thing.
Yeah, I guess so. The only other part of the tournament I really want to talk about is my top 8 game against Sven, which was by far the most taxing game that I played. So it was the Sound Mirror, and Sven's a great player, so it was like I would say I had the edge, I think, because I was running 3 money counter. And that favors me slightly, but I think he's probably the stronger player, so it was basically like a glorified coin flip. I hit him to level 1 first, after quite a confusing sequence of play. And he was like 1-0 and played 2 Sugaher 1-0s, 2 Omagis, and a Yuki, and I was just kind of, and then searched like 2 counters off his Yuki, and I was like, okay, this is a board that I can't touch for the rest of the game. And it really punished my Silica tap self tech, so I just had to kind of side when I had to, crash when I could, and maintain like equal damage until we hit 3, because I could not touch that board until I hit level 3, and even then it was kind of sketchy. That was one of the games that Money Counter won.
Feels good.
Yeah.
I think I remember you saying to me afterwards, he was like desperately asking you afterwards, like, "Oh, where did you find room for the 3rd money counter?" Oh, so good.
Yeah, in the gap between my top 4 game and the finals, he like picked up my deck and pulled out like nearly every card and went, "What number do you run this at?" To try and figure out where I'd slide cards in. He was running Machine of Ice, which I don't think is good in this meta. I think it's very rare that you only need to counter 1 lane. Like, it's not Yukina, you know.
Yeah. Well, I guess only 1 lane. It does make a difference if you're doing it specifically to deny a counter rather than like set up 1 reverse or something.
I mean, I think the way I said it was, if they're gonna money 1 lane, they're gonna be okay with moneying any lane. It doesn't really matter which lane they end up moneying. Like it matters when your opponent's only got 1 character out, but that board state is so rare.
Yeah. This is less rare in standby, in theory, but
oh no, it's even rarer in standby. Cohen was playing standby Link, and every game of his that I watched was stalled out at level 2, where he had like 2 2/2s, 2 of the Ass in the back row, and then like a level 3 in front as well. So it's just this like ridiculously big board that was hitting like mad numbers. And then both players triple cancelled every turn until they went into time, and then Koen ate like one too many attacks, and I saw that happen twice in a row. That was quite rough.
Yeah, I guess saying machine device isn't good meta pick is very specific to SEO, because if you like compare it to like Bridal Sire and Bang Dream, it's probably a necessity.
It's necessary in Bang Dream, yes. So it's only necessary in Sal if you're expecting a heavy re-zero count, and a heavy re-zero count that runs the rest counter, which is like maybe 1 or 2 players a tournament, depending on how many. Apparently there are 7 Austrian players going to Lisbon, so that will be a field to take machine license to, I think.
Yeah, good job in getting a Worlds invite. I'm hoping that the UK can keep up the same sort of record as last year, where we managed to get 4 invites.
That would be cool. So, it would be nice to not go to Japan on my own. So I'm counting on you guys.
Yeah, I got 2 out of 4 so far to match that. So hopefully we can do well.
I'll try London, don't worry.
I think try.
Catherine's going to Lisbon along with Matt. So obviously Matt already has his invite, but he's going to pick for the sponsored one. Catherine's got a chance to get top 3 there. And then it's going to be an absolute free-for-all in London, because there's so many like notable players without an invite now.
Yeah, it's like every single Dutch player but Ian. So like, you know, it's like 5 of the top 10 players. Yeah. I think like only one of my Worlds draft team from last year is that. Oh wait, hang on. If I'm in Worlds, does that mean I can't take part in the Worlds draft?
Oh.
Or do I get to draft myself?
We'll get around to that at some point. Don't worry. So we were going to talk about SAEKANO cards, but we hit some technical difficulties. So I think this is now a good point to wrap up. So thanks for joining me, guys.
No worries.
No, thank you.
Okay.
I was so polite.
So Gemma really is your middle school teacher.
Oh no.
It's like the morning assembly where you say like, "Good morning, headmaster. Good morning, everyone." You just have to say it in like that grinding chant.
Yeah, exactly.
Gemma, next time you play a game against him, please ask him if he's brought his homework, please.
I was just going to ask him if he's brought a pen.
Yeah.
I will personally bring out a pen, and I will bring out homework. I don't even know.
I'll give you some homework.
Yes, do it. Oh my god. I'll ask my like nephew or something, like lend me his homework. I'll copy it and then just be like, there you go.
I don't even know how this has happened.
I feel like there's some context here.
No.
This whole episode is weird. We'll just let it sit with people.
Yeah, we're not going to give any context.
It's definitely been free flowing. That's a certain.
We made these for ourselves.
That's a word.
People listen, that's on them. Whatever.
Yeah. Next episode we should be right before London BCS. So hopefully we'll have a lot to build up for then. Yeah. See you next time.